I'm here in Beech Mountain, North Carolina with Mayor Widener Abernethy and Town Manager Bob Pudney. I'm here for my local mayor interview project. I'm kind of sitting far away from the microphone, so I don't know if you can hear me, but it should hear them well. So let's get started. Number one, every leader has a why. Could you share a bit about your path to the mayor's office and what specific moments or issues made you realize you wanted to lead?
I wanted to change the direction of where our town was going. Our town used to be old, looked worn out. We weren't spending money on infrastructure, and we have a small business, and we have preventative maintenance items that we do every day. We have preventative maintenance items we do once a week or once a month, just accordingly to what the manufacturer's specifications are. But there was just we weren't accomplishing any of those tasks to get Beech Mountain up to speed or up to par or up to a standard. We had no, and I'm not being critical of the past administration. We didn't have folks that were focused on making it better.
Yeah. And then for Bob, I've talked to two town managers, and I'm so fascinated by them because it's a whole different path. How was your path to being here? Have you worked in other towns before, or?
Well, no, my path is not going to be similar to anyone else's. I am a retired fire chief from the state of Florida. 50 years in the fire service.
Where in Florida?
Plantation, outside Fort Lauderdale. So I came up here and retired to Beech Mountain and became their first paid fire chief to run their volunteer fire department. And I've been doing that, I think about 6 years, and my current boss was the town manager at the time, got fired at a town council meeting, and the mayor at the time actually pointed out into the audience and said that, Bob will take over as the interim town manager. And that interim town manager position turned into, I think this is my 6th year now.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
So I am not a town manager, and I'm a fire chief. And it's been a different journey.
It's a bit different, yeah. I talked to town manager in Virginia, Beach town manager. He worked with like 10 different towns and just goes to town to town to town. But
this is my first experience as a town manager. I've managed fire departments all my life, and so it's not rocket science. It's common sense. You build a good team, you let the team do the work, and you support them, and then you represent the community to the elected officials.
Smart. Okay, number two, and this is actually literally the follow-up question I would want to ask to that, is for both of you, what is a typical day or week like what is a typical day or week in your life like with this office or role?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Well, some people in a mayoral position, it's a paid position. Somebody like Charlotte, I have a full-time job. Our family is in the wood packaging business, so it can be a juggling act. I'm proud to say that we've never, I think in the history, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, that we've never had any representation with the North Carolina Mayors Association. And so I've gotten involved in that. We have a North Carolina Mayors meeting tomorrow. There'll be about 120 mayors throughout North Carolina. So to answer your question, when, as I tell our current council, there's more responsibilities of just being a mayor and running this meeting. You've got to reach out and network. You've got to reach out to our federal, our state, and our local officials. And that's something that we've never done, whether right or wrong. We've never done it in the past. But by doing so, financially, we've made great strides.
I think your job is 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day, he is on the phone. He's talking to elected officials all over the state, federal. The job of a mayor isn't 9 to 5, and neither is a manager. It's 24/7, and you never know when something's going to happen. We had an ice storm 2 weeks ago, and the mayor's got to be available. He's got to sign declarations and emergency declarations and things like that. So it's you don't take a day off.
Yeah, that ice storm I can't even imagine how bad it was coming up the mountain here in those roads, because Boone is flat, so I didn't have to worry too much about it. Y'all had like pavers for like the main road between here and Banner Rock, right?
Snowplows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And salt, and it's a whole it's a whole process that we go through.
Yeah, I could imagine that would be very dangerous if it's icy.
It's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
Well, I don't drive it. I sit here. The people our team are the people who go out there and operate the equipment and make the roads safe for the public.
Yeah.
I think the point I was making is that your typical positions in local government, the smaller the government is, the more responsibility each position has. But it's not 9 to 5; it's 24/7, and you never know when something's going to come up. And certainly in the history of Beech Mountain, since I've been the manager, things have come up, once a week, and you've got to react to those. So it's a 24/7 job.
Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot of. That it's always a part-time job, but it's always everyone puts in so much effort, more than part-time.
And from an elected official, he's being very nice, but that his constituency calls him every day.
Yeah.
So there is no day off. If there's a pothole that they're not happy with, or the garbage didn't get picked up, they call the mayor and expect him to answer the phone and deal with their issues. So it's not your typical. If you're getting into local government and you just want to work 9 to 5, it's not the job for you.
I was going to allude to the same thing, that you're on call. It's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
And when you sign up for this civic duty, either you can make it whatever you want to make it, and I choose to make it the best I can, and I strive to do something positive for the town. I'm not going to say every day, but when the opportunity arises, we go after it pretty aggressively. We got a small. I don't know how much longer he's going to be with us, but he's probably been one of our best town managers we've ever had, and we have a small window to make a lot of progress.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, number 3, local community is very important. How do you make sure to stay connected to the pressing issues of your neighbors, which basically was already getting alluded there? Is there anything else you do besides having a phone system? Do you have like well, I know you have an email set up because I emailed you. But can people just come in here and just talk to the council too? Well,
it sounds like it's a double-sided question. From an elected standpoint, with our elected officials, and I go back to things that we're currently doing that we haven't done in the past. In my opinion, we've been disconnected from our neighbors, and that was one of my goals, is to be involved and participate. So we have a mayor's meeting that's local, and then also our EDC meetings. There are a lot of other great organizations that are always having a meeting. So you kind of got to pick and choose. You can't go to all of them. But so that's one side. The other side is that when our constituents do have an issue, or they have a constructive complaint, whatever the situation is, we're either available by phone, or we sit down and have a meeting like what we're doing now.
Awesome. Anything to add?
Well, I think we represent the town. Those are the taxpayers. Those are the people who live here and want a better town. And they certainly don't hesitate to let us know what their thoughts are.
That's what I like a lot about smaller towns. It's a lot more open to be able to hear it. But I was telling Mayor Boone about that because it's a double-sided thing. Because it's a lot easier to hear from your constituents because there's a lot less than a city like Charlotte. But Charlotte has our own news and everything, so it's a lot more known what the issues are. But it's always just a balance. And then next question phase into that as well. So governance is often the art of compromise. How do you define your leadership style when you're faced with a room full of people who all want different things?
You got to find balance. That's a loaded question. We aren't going to make everyone happy, but we do our best to find balance and find compromise. And if you could at least, if you've got someone that's got a realistic issue, you can at least make some progress to show that, we do care and have interest in making your situation better. Then you've got some situations where some of their expectations are just unrealistic. And, and I find a problem, you want to be polite, but, you also want to say this it's not feasible. And, you got to be careful how you approach a brick wall like that.
Yeah. This one actually is a lot more for the town manager side. Being in the high country, our environment is as challenging as it is beautiful. How does the reality of Appalachian weather and terrain shape your long-term planning for the town's infrastructure and safety?
Well, it's a fact of nature. Freezing weather is the issue that deals the strongest blow against our infrastructure, whether it's snow and ice or the infrastructure in the ground, the water lines and things like that. So you cannot have the same planning process, capital improvement plan that you would have, say, in the Piedmont or down on the coast. So up here, we spend a lot of time planning to improve the infrastructure that most people can't see. It's underground, and it's a lot of money. But it has to do with the weather. The roads are impacted greatly by the weather. You can pave a road in Charlotte, for instance, and it will last a lot longer than it would last up here. We put salt down and things like that. So the environment that the town is in drives the budget process and the capital improvement plan.
Makes sense. And then this one is always interesting to ask. No town is an island. How would you describe the current dynamic between your town and the county, which is Ash?
No,
Avery?
we're in two counties.
Avery.
We're in Watauga and Avery.
Really?
The county line divides our town in half, makes it interesting.
That is certainly interesting.
Yeah.
So do the building codes, are there separate building codes depending
No,
on
the building code is driven by the state. So the building code is a state building code, and so that doesn't really apply. But the economics, the budgeting, the taxes, we have county taxes at different rates in two different counties. And the services that are delivered by the counties are different. So part of our town is taxed differently than the other part. And the services are different. And so it makes it very dynamic situation, more for the elected official, more for the mayor to negotiate that political process. From the manager's perspective, the facts are the facts. It is what it is, and we have to deal with those entities, whether they be in Avery County or Watauga.
So is there Watauga sheriffs and Avery sheriffs?
Yes.
That's so interesting.
Yes. And neither one comes here.
So you guys have your own police department?
The town has its own police department, and so the sheriff in both counties chooses to take advantage of the town having their own police force, and they really don't respond up here. Beech Mountain is kind of unique. It's a very small town.
We are an island.
On
top of a mountain.
People?
About 680.
Oh, yeah. So
on top of a mountain, and we provide the same services that Kernersville does or Winston-Salem. We have police, fire, EMS, we have Parks and Rec, we have Public Works, administrative, of course. So all the things that you would associate with a major metropolitan area, this little town provides those same services in a unique environment. And this is a special town. It really is.
We get bottlenecked. As Chief said, that we have 680 full-time residents, but Thursday through Sunday we have anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 people.
Yeah.
So
on a low day.
I'm being conservative with those numbers, and it's very taxing. on the town employees. It's taxing on everyone. You kind of got to pick and choose when to leave your house and where to go or not go, and be able to tolerate it as well and live with it. We're in a resort community.
So this is the next question. You guys are like reading my minds. It's insane. I was gonna ask. It's not on here, but I was gonna ask about the relationship with Beech Mountain, like the resort. How much? Because obviously it's a driving factor in the economy, but how much impact does that have on the town, like specifically? If you had to give it like a couple of words or something.
Well, it is the largest property taxpayer in the town. So a large percentage of our budget is funded by the resort. Then you've got to look at broader than just at the dollars that they pay. By bringing in tens of thousands of people,
Yeah.
it runs the entire economy in the town during that period of time. So whether you have the general store, whether you have lodging, whether you have restaurants, those people that come up here to visit because of the resort spend a lot of money in our community. So that increases sales tax. We get sales tax back from the state. So it not only does have an economic engine to the town, most people wouldn't know where Beech Mountain is if it wasn't for the resort. So the relationship with all the businesses, but primarily the resort, that is the driving economic engine of the town.
We have a good working partnership / relationship.
It's love-hate.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. It's to me, it's love. To him, it's hate.
Well, no. Martin Luther King weekend, big ski weekend up here.
Yeah.
We have a vehicle counter here at Town Hall, and we counted 54,000 vehicles in a 3-day period that drove past Town Hall.
It's like a thing that just like tallies them as they drove by?
Yeah, it tells me what direction they go and how big the vehicle is. It's not your tube across the street. It's actually a little radar thing. But to that point, today there will be less than 1,000 vehicles pass by Town Hall.
So was it 54,000 in those 3 days?
3 days.
That's insane.
And
It is, isn't it?
And
Yeah,
so
it's unvaluable.
on a 2-lane road, you drove up here, up the mountain, right? And so you can imagine the impact to the community. And we have a total of less than 2,000 parking spaces in the town, including the resort. So where do you put all those vehicles? Where do you put all those people? Where do they eat? Where do they sleep? From my perspective, getting down into the weeds, I've got to provide water and sewage treatment for that group of people that come up here. And then they leave on Sunday. And Monday we go back to 680 people. It's very, very difficult and very dynamic how we have to adjust for the population increase. It's actually very interesting, but it has its trying times.
It's very interesting. And then a last question, and I made sure to include this because this is always a fun question. For both of you, what is your favorite part of your community in Appalachia?
That's a loaded question. Outdoor activities. Outdoor activities. I do the ski patrol gig, and that's a year-round position. It's volunteer. Well, I'll say year-round. The resort will close for about 2 months. So outdoor activities between the hiking and the fishing and skiing. It's a great place to live.
It's a great Eagle Scout answer right there. I love the outdoors. It's part of the reason I chose to come to Ab, because the mountains, it's amazing,
Well, the outdoors, I agree. For me, it's for the community, it's the people. I come from South Florida, where, it's the gun and knife club. And so when you come up here, everybody's, very nice, Southern charm, whatever you want to call it. It's community. Everybody works to help themselves. With Helene, that became very obvious.
Yeah.
When we were cut off from the world because we lost our roads, and you couldn't get here and you couldn't leave, and the community came out and supported each other. So from the community standpoint, it's the people that are here, and then I agree, the outdoors, the mountains. I like the winter weather. It's kind of adventurous from a South Florida kind of perspective.
That's how I feel coming from Charlotte too.
But it's the people that make the town what it is.
I guess my response was a little bit more biased, but I agree with what Bob said. You know, it takes a special person to live up here, and it is a very small knit group. But it's just like anything, any organization you have, the people is what makes you a great organization or makes you a mediocre organization. And we have a lot of folks, Helene, case in point, our community pulled together, and what we were told that things that wouldn't occur for the next 6 to 8 weeks, we had things kind of sewed up for in the next 2 or 3 days. It took 2 or 3 days, and it was teamwork. Everyone coming together, pulling together.
For Helene, how long were you guys like? Do you have a field trapped up here, and how long was that? Like, how was it? Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or?
Yeah, it was 4 days. We were able to get the road patched in 4 days, so you could drive off the mountain. Never felt trapped.
That's a lot better than I thought it would be. Because for Boone, I mean, it's still in a valley, so it was a lot easier. But I've heard like some communities they were completely cut off.
Well, we were completely cut off, and we had no power, and water was an issue. But we were able to get helicopters in here right away. We were able to get a local contractor that has his business here in Beech Mountain, and our elected officials drove trucks full of rock and dirt and started filling in the washouts so that we could get people down the mountain to the hospital.
Awesome.
So it went fairly quickly, but I never thought that we were cut off. Actually, it was kind of a blessing. We were left to our own demise, and we could do what we wanted.
Awesome. You guys have anything to add for my project about Appalachia or your experience or anything?
No, I tell you, I'd like to get a copy of this. I don't have a town email address, but there's my business card. If you want to keep me, well, you've got my email address.
I've got my card over there.
Oh, wow.
So if you can keep us posted on.
Yeah, we'd be interested to see the project. And
Yeah.
how it turns
Well, I'll
out.
send the interview over for you guys to be able to use this, and then the project I'll probably finish it in April or May. I'm trying to go to Cherokee and Asheville, and I really can't go there until it's like warm, you know.
Why?
I'm kind of like just busy until spring break too. That's the main reason. But it's gonna be really interesting. I'm really curious. A lot of the answers are very similar, but a lot of them are unique. And I have an interview with the mayor of Bristol, Virginia on Zoom this Friday. And then, I don't know if you know Mountain City, Tennessee.
Oh, sure.
But I think I'm going to go there as well. And then Boiling Rock, of course. And it's certainly interesting. It's going to be fun. But yeah, it's been an interview. I'll have to do the handshake on camera. I'm not really on camera, but
Hey, thank you so
that should
much.
be.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.